I've been in sales for over 30 years and I've sold something to every Fortune 500 company at least once. Most of those sales have been in the tens of millions. And I have formulated a 10-step plan to make any sale happen. This process will help you learn to sell. And if you like it or not, you are a salesperson. People will judge you. They will make decisions about you as a personal brand and your product without you even realizing it. So if you can't sit and listen for 5 minutes to all this knowledge I'm going to give you for free, I'm afraid you're not going to make it. So there's probably 10 steps to sales, both how to actually think like a salesperson, get sales done, closed, and then ongoing sales, repeat sales, referral sales. I'm going to teach you it all. It's about 10 steps, but they blur into each other. And the end part of this video is just as important. The points at the end of this video, if you don't know them, you can't apply the bits I'm going to teach you at the beginning. To learn sales, you also have to learn patience and perseverance and focus. The first thing I want to teach you about sales is that some people like to call it marketing. It makes them feel better. In the end, it's all sales. Everything is about sales. You can call it marketing if it makes you feel that you're cooler. It doesn't really make any difference. It's about getting people on your side. It's about connecting, converting, and realizing that at the end of the day, no business can survive. 0 businesses would succeed if you didn't sell something to someone. Now, I'm going to teach you a certain type of sales. I prefer ethical sales. An example of non-ethical sales, in my opinion, and this might seem extreme, but I don't want you to fall into this trap, is what I call the 99p rule. People try to trick people. They try to say it's $2.99 or $4.99 or 1.499 million instead of 1.5, because basically they want to trick you. They want to make you think that somehow it's cheaper. Of course, on property pricing, sometimes they do it to fall within a certain category, but they don't really want to sell it at that. I think in sales, the thing that's not said enough is be fucking honest. Be authentic. I never see anyone, all these sales shit courses I see people selling, telling you to do that. They talk to you about NLP, where you can trick people, or using words to manipulate people. I even saw a recent video where someone was talking about how they pretended they didn't have the product anymore so that the customer would then buy. This is all bullshit. It's a way of tricking people into getting a quick sale, which is quick money. The quicker you go up, the quicker you come down. Don't listen to this bullshit. The best salespeople in the world, the best way to sell is authentic, make a connection with someone, and that person will be with you forever. I sold my very first thing at 15 years old with no sales experience. I was honest. I said to someone, I need money. I want to do your garden. Please pay me. They saw the authenticity. I had no brochure, no website, no sales training, and they said yes. And I think today, this word authenticity is not used enough in sales. And initially, you might even reject it. Write it down. It's key to sales. If you're authentic, you don't just sell once to someone. You sell again and again and again. I recently took my wife to the mini garage to buy her a car. And when we looked through all the different options, the salesperson knew that none of these options suited my wife. The best thing she did was say, you probably should buy a Tesla. Now, I know it sounds crazy. Someone in a mini garage working for BMW telling us to buy someone else's car. But you know what it did? It made us connect to that salesperson. It made us leave our contact information with that salesperson. And when that salesperson does contact us, she's understood our needs, we probably buy something off her. She didn't try to sell us something we didn't need. I've done exactly the same in the past. I got some part-time work in a clothing shop when I was young. Someone put on a suit. I know that the shop wanted to sell it, but I told the person it didn't look good on them. And from that moment onwards, they trusted me. I only worked there for the summer, but they trusted me forever. I know this authenticity thing is real. I don't know how to convince you other than to tell you it's made me rich from being poor. And I know you're going to watch a million other videos, often ones that charge you, to tell you this is how you trick people into selling. Don't apply this in your life and you'll have a better long-term relationship with everybody you sell to. I sold coaster ads, an advertising product, to someone 20 years ago now, maybe a little bit longer than 20 years ago. They bought it. They then worked with my agency. They then invested in my businesses. They then partnered with me for 2 decades. All because I sold them something that I authentically believed would help their business, and it did. I delivered. I over-delivered. And that's the second step in sales. Whatever you sell, you want to be able to over-deliver, right? And how do you over-deliver in sales? You make sure that what you're selling you believe in. you make sure you don't say something that isn't true about the product, even if someone tells you to do it. If you're working somewhere and they tell you to sell something that isn't true, it's your personal brand on the line. Don't do it. Walk out that door. Only sell what you can deliver on. And I know quite often in the sales process, in the excitement of selling, you want to promise much more than you can guarantee. Well, then break it into those two parts. Say, this is what I can guarantee, and this is what I hope might happen. An example I've had many times in my life is PR companies that sell. They come to me and they say, Simon, we'll get you in every major newspaper in the world. And then they want me to pay a monthly fee, and they make that promise. But the ones I've worked with are the ones that have come and said, this is our plan to try and get you coverage in every newspaper in the world for what you're trying to do to help people, Simon. This is what we'll try to do. This is what we guarantee we'll do. We're guaranteed to write up a good press release. We're guaranteed to take good pictures to put you into the press. We guarantee we've got a good mailing list of people that should write about you, but we cannot guarantee they're going to write about you. And those are the people I want to work with forever. These are the sorts of people you want to work with. These are the sorts of people you want to be. Authentic. And don't overpromise. The third thing in sales, and in a minute, I'm going to get to what I think is the glue that puts this all together. But the third thing in sales that you always need to do is find your own style. Now, I have seen introverts do amazing things in sales. And the key, a lot of people think only extroverts can sell, right? People that like people are the only ones that can sell. It's not true. I don't know how this stuff becomes a belief system for us all. It's not true. In Fluid, my agency business that I sold to PricewaterhouseCoopers, the best salesperson in that company was my accountant. Why? Well, I did my job. I'm going to come to that in a minute. I trained her properly, right? In fact, I'll write it down now, right? Train a team to all think sales. I'm going to explain this a bit more in a minute. But she basically would go and have lunch with other CFOs, other accountants, and they'd be asking her what she's doing. And she'd be talking about how the business she was working at, Fluid, was turning companies around, was saving businesses, was changing the world, making sure people didn't lose their job and make sure these companies survived. And she said it because she loved the company and she believed in it. And you know what happened? Those CFOs would go back to the boardroom and tell their CEO. And then next thing you know, we get a phone call and email asking for a meeting for us to get involved and work with them. She was the best salesperson. I was actually labelled up as the salesperson in Fluid, but she was the best salesperson. I got my best leads from her. But the point I'm trying to make here is find your style. Find how you like to sell. It doesn't matter what I tell you to do. It matters what you can naturally do. So for example, if you like to write blogs, go on LinkedIn, go on these blog sites and write blogs about your specialty, about what you find interesting. Go out there and apply yourself in a way that is comfortable for you. There was a famous quote around marketing and sales, which is 50% of what I spend on marketing gets lost, gets wasted. I just don't know what 50%. The truth is, most of the time when we're selling, the best salespeople don't even know they're selling. You're just sharing knowledge, sharing information, being proud about your product or service, and that in itself causes a sale. You've got to find your style. Lean into that groove, whatever it is. If you're an introvert, then lean into that. If you're an extrovert, lean into that. I'm going to get into specifics of types of selling in a minute and break down the different types of selling. But I just want to initially just set you up with the right mindset. So authenticity, don't oversell, always over-deliver, and find your style. I'm going to get into the specifics of the different types of sales that you can do to get the business you need, to sell yourself, to sell your business, to get the clients, and to, the Holy Grail, I think, get clients to promote you. The fourth thing I briefly mentioned a second ago is train the team. In sales, a lot of the time, the best people to sell you are the people you work with. So that can be your clients, that can be your colleagues, that can be your mum. It doesn't really matter. You want everybody who's involved in your life to be selling what you're selling. And that means that they are trained. Now, it might sound weird if I tell you to go train your mum to sell your product, and your mum might initially reject it. But if you explain the product to her in a way that excites her, it means that it supports you, she will be your best salesperson. Now, I don't want to miss out the dads. Don't forget to also train them up. Everybody should be your salesperson, but it's up to you to train your team and make sure that that's the case. Now, number 5, I want you to know the rules of selling, and they are teachable. I don't know why they don't teach you this at school. I think I know why. They don't want you to be free. but I know for a fact there are 3 steps to getting any sale. Any sale. I don't care who you are or what your skill set is. If you follow these 3 steps, you will get any sale. Most people start with the last step first. Most people start with, this is my product and this is how much it is. It's a mistake. That's not how you sell. The first step is very simple. Identify who could buy your product. You've got to actually know the person who's going to buy it. Understand if they really need it. So for example, you may have seen the thing, sell me this pen in the movie Wolf of Wall Street, right? Most people, when I give you this pen, will start selling it. The first question you need to ask is not, would you like to buy this pen? And this is a lovely pen. Do you like blue? Look at it. It's nice and strong and it's a good brand. It will last for. Forget all that shit. First thing you need to say is, do you need a pen? Do you need a pen? Now, if people say no, then you ask them when in the future they might need a pen. You break down when the desire and the need for this product might occur. And if you're not sure, and I ran a service business for 15 years, you don't know when people actually needed my business services. So what did I do? Every single month for 9 years, I contacted brands like Apple somehow with something to help them remember me. You have to be there when the sales is needed. If you sell someone a pen and they don't need a pen, you're going to waste your time, you're going to waste their time, and you're going to be frustrated thinking there's no market fit for your product. Identify the client, what they actually need. Do they actually need your product? If they need your product, then you can move on to the second stage. And the second stage takes a bit of work which people can't be bothered to do, and they wonder why they get less reaction on sales. The second step is understand the person you're selling to. Make a relationship. In an ideal situation, you like them and they like you. You want to like them, because if you sell something to someone and you don't like them or they don't like you, your life's going to be a nightmare. Even if there is a product market fit and they need a pen, you don't want to be caught in a situation where they have bought something from you and you don't like them and they don't like you. The irony, or the other spin on this is, if you've got these first 2 steps right, you know they need the product. They need you. Second, you like each other. The people selling and people buying like each other. You need each other and you like each other. I have never not completed the third stage if those first 2 are in place. The third stage is, here's my product, this is what it does, this is the service it offers. I guarantee you that third step will be completed if you get the first 2 right. I've even had cases where clients have said to me, this is the amount of budget I've got, this is what I'm willing to do, Simon. They tell me how to write the contract to get the third bit right. They tell me what to price it as, sometimes more than I thought I was going to charge or needed at the time to charge, to support me because they like me and they need our service. They want us to do well, they want us to make profit. When you identify these things, sales gets a lot easier. Now there's another very important part of sales. But I wanted, first of all, before I move on to the next bit, to make sure you understand sales is a system. It's a system. That process is a system. Now, the 3 steps to sales I've just told you there, I'm going to tell you obvious things. You need products like Pipedrive. You need tools that allow you to track the sales. So for example, when I was selling for 9 years to the client I wanted to win, I had to track every month what I had done. And if someone else came in and took over the sales process for a little while, I had a system in place. Like I mentioned earlier, I would send them a Christmas present. I would send them a newsletter. I would send them a happy birthday note. I would send them some industry news that I just noticed might help their business do better. I didn't always sell them, but I always connected to them. And you need a system, things like Pipedrive to do that. You need products that help you remember who you're contacting and remember the process of always connecting. So systems, the 3-step process, and then making sure you've got the tools to help you do that process. Next up, number 6 on the list, leverage. In sales, you need leverage. Leverage sales is basically where you perhaps are a new company, a new brand, no one knows you yet, and if I contact a company, and I had this experience when I started Fluid, I would ring up a company and I would say, hi, my name's Simon from Fluid and I'd like to help you with your marketing. And they were like, we're too busy, go away or hang up. You're all going to have this experience, right? Rejection is something you need to get used to in sales. I don't need to tell you that, but I think the thing with leverage is if you can get one brand name or one client on board, and maybe initially you have to do it free in some cases, you can leverage that brand to help your own brand lift up. So for example, my company, we managed to get CNN as a client. This is back when CNN was a good brand. We managed to get them on board as a client, and we did a great job for them. And what we then did is I would ring up and say, hi, I'm Simon Squibb. I'm working with CNN on a project. I wondered if I could come and talk to you about your company and what we could do to help you. So suddenly now, and this is 10 years ago, CNN was a more respected brand back then, CNN then, that name allowed us to get in the door with other people. It's a delicate one because I don't want you to lie, but I want you to see how you've got to leverage what you've done and what you've got. Now, to get CNN as a client, we had to do a free piece of work for them. So sometimes that's an investment in leverage. You need to make an investment in leverage. Now, of course, you also have to do a good job for that client, because if they then, oh, I know CNN or I know John at CNN, and they check, reputation matters. So make sure you've got your reputation in line. Do a good job for people. But I think leverage is perfectly fine and perfectly normal. It's a good way of helping people who hear your first sentence connect to who you are. If you're working for a big brand, they think, right, you must be a good company. So use leverage in sales. Number 7 on the list is don't sell a product. Sell the outcome of the product. Too many people, when they go to sell something, tell you exactly what product they've got, instead of focusing on the outcome that product can bring you if you use it, for example. The terminology I've used before on this is sell the sizzle, not the steak, right? So you don't sell the actual steak. There's millions of steaks out there. Sell the feeling of the steak. If you look at adverts like Haagen-Dazs, they're not telling you about the ingredients, because if they did, you probably wouldn't eat the shit. So what you're actually doing, what they're actually trying to do, is have a feeling of when you eat the ice cream. Oh, love and romance, you're with someone beautiful. They're creating a feeling, right? Apple is the same. Apple, what Intel processor is in an Apple? Can you tell me? No one fucking cares, right? Because they're selling a feeling. You've got to learn to sell a feeling. Now, I'm going to come on to another point in a minute, which is around storytelling, but I want you to understand that any product, anything you sell, is about the feeling. So when I was selling Fluid, I wasn't selling that we were the best marketing company in the world. I was selling the fact that we cared about having a result for our clients. We prided ourselves on the success of our clients. I didn't break down that we did email marketing and SEO and built websites and built competitions and marketing campaigns and adverts and billboards. No one gives a shit about that stuff. And that's what everyone else was doing, which is why we beat them, because we were selling an outcome. We were selling the sizzle, not the steak. There's just so many examples of brands that have actually done well that do this. I mean, LinkedIn, for example, sells that you can get a job on that platform. You can build your brand on that platform. They don't really tell you, well, there's a like button and there's a comment button and, you can actually DM people inside. None of that matters. That's just part of what obviously the product does. It's what the product gives you that people care about. So learn to sell the sizzle. What is the sizzle for your product? Tell me in the comments. I want to know what the sizzle is. I don't care about the steak. Number 8. This one might seem obvious. I'm surprised how many people don't do it. Only sell what you believe in. It's easier to sell something you genuinely believe in. Too many people are selling things they don't believe in, and they are therefore not good salespeople. Or you can be a good salesperson selling something you don't believe in. You will get sales, especially if you follow my rules. But at the end of the day, sell something you believe in. It's so obvious, isn't it? Sell something, I think, that has an outcome that makes the world a better place, or the person you're helping have a better life. Sell something you believe in. I'm going to put it in here. I don't need to talk about it for long. I feel with all my heart that so many people don't actually realize this. I have to say it. It feels common sense and obvious. But you will find that anyone can sell something they believe in. That's the irony. But so many people don't sell what they believe in. So only work with companies. Well, if you're going to work with someone, make sure you ask for equity, but that aside, if you're going to sell something you believe actually brings value. Sell something you believe can actually make a difference in people's lives. Number 9. Now, this type of sales I want to explain to you now can sound a bit like point 6 around leverage, but actually it's quite different. Some of the best ways to sell are other people selling for you. Now, I mentioned this earlier in team training as well, but these two ideas blend into point 9, which is, and the best way maybe to give you as an example is a brand I don't really like, but they do this quite well. McDonald's sponsor the Olympics, right? So by leveraging the Olympics as a brand, that kind of aspirational excitement, community, team, everything the Olympics does so well, McDonald's leverage it. They sponsor it. And I think brand leverage and team sales alongside this brand partnership model can be a great way to sell your product. So if you want to sell something, you can look to align yourself with that brand. So just before I did this video, I just came off a phone call with Liquid Death, which is this new water brand. I don't know yet if we're going to do a partnership with them or not, but we can leverage each other's brands, basically. They have a message they want to get out there in the world, and we have a message that we want to get out there in the world, and putting our two brands together can be hugely powerful. I don't know if that's going to happen by the time this video goes out, but I'm just trying to teach you something. Brand partnerships, brand alignment is so powerful in sales. And if I say I'm sponsoring the Olympics or I'm sponsoring the tennis, and maybe that sounds like too much money, but you just, even if it's your local football club, if you go and support your local football club, go fix all their billboards and you're a carpenter, maybe they'll give you the billboard for free, but you align yourself, I'm supporting my local football team. You align yourself to your values, to their values. You lift each other up by these partnerships. I call this 1 + 1 = 11. It's an underutilized way of selling. And just like asking your customers or your team to sell you, or using the leverage system I mentioned earlier, 1 + 1 = 11 can be a very powerful way to get your brand out there. It doesn't always require money. Like the Liquid Death partnership that we have, neither of us will probably pay money, and we'll just put our resources in the middle together to create something fun, hopefully for you, to help you have a better business life. But I'm trying to explain a very important fundamental of sales that I've learned, that 1 + 1 = 11. Number 10, I'm going to call this the emotional sale. I mentioned earlier the 3-step process to getting any sale done, and that's absolutely true. There is a very delicate and powerful way to sell that I find hard to explain, but it basically is best explained by understanding that people are people. And an example is, recently I launched my book, What's Your Dream, on Amazon. It's pre-sale. We went to #1 on Amazon the day we launched, #1. And no one's even read the book. No one's even reviewed the book. Now, most books need lots of reviews before they'll get purchased, just like products. We have 0 reviews on that book, 0, and it's #1 on Amazon. Why? Because I used a method that I think you can only use if you genuinely feel it, and that is the emotional sale. So instead of saying, my book will teach you X, my book is amazing, which I think it is, by the way, please buy it, I said instead, this book is about a movement. It's not give and take that's going to make us survive in the future. It's give without take. We have to get back to how we just help each other because we can. If you buy this book, you're not getting all my knowledge for free. If you're buying this book to get all my knowledge for free, don't buy it. My knowledge is for free on this YouTube channel. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel right now and get all my knowledge for free. It will cost you nothing. Do not buy the book to get my knowledge for free. Buy the book to support the mission. I want more people to know that if they give without take, they'll get far richer than if they give and take. You can only get so much when you give and take. It's a transaction every time that requires you selling time most of the time. Whereas if you give without take, there's unlimited upside to what the universe will give you. I've run this experiment for the last 5 years. I know it to be true. Go buy my book, support Give Without Take if you believe in what I'm saying. That's what I said. Thousands of people bought the book. Because it's not about buying the book. It's about supporting a mission. Emotional sale. I think Elon Musk does an emotional sale, nearly in all his businesses. He's like, buy Tesla because fuck, we've got to do something to save the planet. You know, buy Tesla because I'm fucking the other car companies. I'm more valuable than them all. I don't think he is anymore as a car company, but the concept is like, he's selling, buy my car to save the planet. Buy my car now before it's even out, and let's fuck these awful car companies that have sold us petrol cars for years and years and years. This has to be really authentic. Like the emotional sale is one of the hardest sales because it has to really be true. Otherwise people see right through it and then you're fucked. You destroy your personal brand, you destroy your business long term, no one comes back. It has to be true. But if you do it right, it's hugely powerful. I've seen a brilliant clip. Don Draper sells the Kodak carousel, which is it's a fake scene, but it actually happened. And what he does brilliantly, and the clip's down below, watch it at the end of this video, he does a slideshow as to why the company should use his company to buy the product. And in that slideshow, he shows pictures of himself on the couch with his kids, looking like a slob, just being genuinely honest and authentic with himself. And at the end of the video, when you watch it, you'll see what I mean. I cried, you'll cry. The emotional sale is also about showing yourself, showing up, showing why you're doing stuff, really being vulnerable, being open, feeling the pain, showing people that you're real and normal and honest, and why you're doing something is bigger than yourself. If you can do this emotional sale, I think it's one of the most powerful. I think my book getting to #1 on Amazon without any reviews on a pre-sale is unheard of because of this technique, right? And I say technique loosely and carefully. It's not a trick, it has to be real. It can't be a trick. That's the thing about sales that people don't seem to explain properly. Sales is not about tricking people. Sales is about telling people the truth, the story, and why it matters to them. They'll buy it if it matters to them. So that's the 10 points to sales. I'm going to tell you a few more things now that aren't exactly points, but very important. Please, please, please learn what sales is really about. It's about being authentic. It's about having a team around you. It's about community. It's about having purpose, being authentic. All of these things need to happen in sales. But there's a couple of really interesting things. I know sometimes you need to stand out in sales. So you need to leverage tools like PR and marketing and other brands. An example, I recently heard a story by Rory Sutherland, and it's about how they were asked by a dishwasher company, how could they sell more dishwashers? And one of the things that came up was, well, why doesn't everyone have 2 dishwashers? Now, when I first tell you you should have 2 dishwashers, you probably think I'm mad. And what was really interesting, and I've seen this play out so many times in the sales process I've been involved in too, it's like out-of-the-box thinking helps brands love you more, helps people love you more. Try things. I bought a staircase in Twickenham, 5 stories high, encased in glass. It was great PR, and I built that platform, that staircase platform now, to help the community. You can go to the bottom of that staircase, press the doorbell, pitch your dream to that doorbell, we'll upload it to 4.5 million people to help you for free. Now, those sorts of things, and this thing with Rory was really interesting. He said that when the dishwasher company came to them, they talked about how, why don't we ask everybody to buy 2 dishwashers? And of course, the company was initially like, why would people buy 2 dishwashers? Well, it turns out if you have 2 dishwashers, you can use one, and then when it's finished, you can take the stuff out of the dishwasher and use it to eat, and then you can put that stuff right back into the second dishwasher. In other words, you never have to put the plates and dishes and cups in the cupboards. Something I know I personally have to do. I'm rich and I only have 1 dishwasher. How stupid am I? But they didn't go with a campaign in the end to promote the concept of buying 2 dishwashers. Perhaps that's ludicrous. But I really like this out-of-the-box thinking, the wild ideas, the wild thinking. Buy a staircase in Twickenham and turn it into a dream factory. Madness. Own 2 dishwashers. Madness. You've got to build madness into sales, both from a PR point of view, from a marketing point of view, and to get the deals and connect to clients, be mad. Enjoy the process of selling. Have fun. Laugh. Humor. All of these things will help you fucking sell. So go and have a laugh. Subscribe to this channel. You'll see more people's dreams coming true because of sales than any other reason. I'm going to have some chicken now. Bye.